Hola, welcome to another interesting video. So today's topic is, so you may wonder why I gave the Spanish introduction. As I told you in my previous video, I am learning Dutch for going to Netherlands for higher studies. So I also thought of learning Spanish, which is also the language which I like. It's my dream to visit the Canary Islands, and I'm hoping for a vacation there when I get break from school, because they give holidays. So if it's a 10 holiday, I'm trying to visit Gran Canaria. So I'm learning Spanish, how to speak. I know the basic, like hello, goodbye, like those words. So today's topic is, what are the engine options for the 747. So when it comes to the Boeing 747, it comes in 5 to 6 variants: 100, 200, 300, 400, SP and Dash 8. So we are going to go over all the variants and their engine types. So when the 747 was first being in development, Pratt and Whitney, this engine manufacturer name might sound very familiar to most of you, because they are even used on the A320 models even today. So, and A320, A220 models. So what happened was, when Boeing was developing the 747, there were options, and they went to Pratt and Whitney and they gave an order for a large engine high bypass turbofan to power the 747. So Pratt and Whitney started developing the engine. After its completion test and everything, the Pratt and Whitney JT9er Delta engine was ready. So JT90 means Juliet Tango Niner Delta. So this Pratt and Whitney JT90 engine was ready, and well, they had tested it out in Pratt and Whitney's factory, but never on the 747. Because when the prototype 747 was fully developed, they needed to hang the engine. So they did all the things, and it was time for the 747's first flight for the prototype. So that aircraft lifted off, and the engine performed absolutely fine. Although there were some first little bit of flaws with the hydraulic system and cooling system of the engine, the manufacturer quickly figured it out and fixed the issue. So it became the most sold wide body engine in the 747 until it came to the 400 version. It came from all the way to the 100 model till the 400 model. I'll tell you more about it. And this is the engine which has gotten an upgrade. So I'm going to tell you more about that upgrade later. So when it comes to the 100 model, it only came with Pratt and Whitney JT90 engine. And also when they also gave an order for Rolls-Royce to develop an engine, so they designed ultra high bypass turbofan engine. So that was named the Rolls-Royce RB211 jet engine. So those two were there. So that brings us to the 200 model from the 100. The 200 were powered by the same Rolls-Royce RB211 engine, Pratt and Whitney JT90 engine. But when it comes to the 300 model, things take a little bit of turn. We need to shift gears. I'm gonna talk about more later. Anyway, so as we're talking about the 200, this aircraft was larger than the 100. It had more range. So what happened was, the engine design and everything was same, but the ratio of the engine, the performance of the engine was a little bit of modified, and it was taken above. So Pratt and Whitney and Rolls-Royce did their upgrades to the engine. Not full upgrade, but performance and size upgrade. So now after this, the 200 model was a huge hit for Boeing. It became the second most popular variant of the 747 after the 400, just because of its engine capacity, and it could fly on longer routes than the 100. Until the 300 model, there was no aircraft that would compete with the 200 model, and it was when the 300 got introduced, the 200 came down. Not in terms of sales, but in the terms of range, as we have talked in my previous video. That is where the 300 model got the stretched upper deck, and it looks very similar to the 400. The only minor details you can get is by the cockpit design and by the wingtips. You can see on the 300 there are no wingtips like the 400 model, and even the cockpit is still not a digitalized glass cockpit. It is steam gauge cockpit. So on the 300 model there were actually three engine options. Pratt & Whitney JT90 engine, that was now this time Pratt & Whitney and Rolls-Royce did not do any upgrade to the engine in terms of performance and size, because they had already outdone themselves with the 200, and which could also be used for the 300 model. But this is where another engine manufacturer, which may sound more familiar to you, General Electric, GE, came in and they developed their CF6 engine. So the CF6 was developed, and they did testing on already they had got their hands on the 747-100 of Pan American. So they did the testing, it worked out very well. Now the 300 model came with three engine options: JT90, RB211, CF6. So as we all know, it is the least popular variant of the 747, the 300 model, so it did not have a lot of sales, but the engines were a very good choice, and this was the first ever time General Electric had supplied an engine to a wide body aircraft of Boeing. Okay, now coming to the 400, the most popular variant of the 747, this is where, as I told you, we need to change gears a little bit. Okay, we are going to change gears, and we are going to go into all those engine upgrades I mentioned previously. So what happened with those engine upgrades was, this model was huge. No aircraft was there which would compete to the 400. It was larger, longer, heavier than all those variants of the 747 which I mentioned right now. So the JT90 RB211 did not even be close to powering this aircraft. So what they did was, they took the initial design, they scrapped the initial design, and what they did was, they kept the same name was there for the Rolls-Royce engine, and for the GE engine the same CF6. What they did was, they did an upgrade, just like Pratt & Whitney and Rolls-Royce did from the 100 to the 200. They upgraded the performance of that engine and the size of the engine. So the GE CF6 engine was good to go and was able to power the 400. But when it comes to the Pratt & Whitney JT90 engine, it was not even close to enough, as I told you. So what they did was, they took the model, developed into a newer, fuel efficient, get this quote unquote, fuel efficient. Back in 1980s, you may think fuel prices were not high, but it was going up, it was shooting through the roof. So airlines wanted a more fuel efficient option. So what they did was, they upgraded the engine, and from the Pratt & Whitney JT90 engine, this engine kind of looks similar to the GE CF6 engine. The only minor details you would be noticing on the engine cowling. I do not want to go too much in detail. So instead of the Pratt & Whitney JT90, the Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine came. Notice from the JT90 engine to a larger engine which has come. Now this happened again for Rolls-Royce. So what they did was, they took the RB211 engine, as I showed you in my Qantas 747-400ER model. How those engine looks, that is what the engine exactly looked like. So the Rolls-Royce RB211, they upgraded from RB211 to RB211B. So they did that, and now the 747-400 had actually three new engine options this was the first time ever introduced in the 747 after the 200 and 300 model. So this turned out to be a huge hit for Boeing, the airlines, and everyone, even for the engine manufacturers. Coming to my most favorite version of the 747, the 747-8. It's powered by only one engine type, no Pratt and Whitney, no Rolls-Royce. General Electric GEnx 2B engine. You may ask, what is the 2B engine and what is the 1B engine anyway? That is what I'm going to explain now. So when Boeing was developing the 787 back in the 2000s, they wanted fuel efficient because their main aim to the 787 was fuel efficiency. So at that time they gave General Electric and Rolls-Royce an order to develop a very good super efficient engine. So the General Electric manufacturers developed the GNX 1B engine and Rolls-Royce developed the RR Trent 1000 engine. Both of these are very fuel efficient good engines. I really love them and hopefully I even want to see one of them on the 787 wing. So this is where the 747-8 story takes a turn. So when Boeing was developing the aircraft, they were looking into engine options and they saw that the 787 at that time was the world's best performing airframe in all sorts of things. The wing, the engine, the landing gear, the cockpit, the cabin, the efficiency, and more. I can't mention that. I'm going to run out of fingers and words to tell that. So anyway, as they were developing the engine, so what they did was they gave an order to General Electric, particularly we need the engine same as efficient as the General Electric GE9X. They told that in particular I'm sorry, I told GE9X, GEnx. I get confused with it all the time. Anyway, GE9X is an engine that is used for the yet to launch 777X aircraft. So sorry for the mix up. GEnx engine, particularly they told that. So what GE made was they developed the GEnx engine but upgraded it in terms of efficiency, size, and shape. So what they developed was from the GEnx 1B to the more faster, fuel efficient, and larger GEnx 2B engine. So we have talked about the variants of the 747 and their engine. This was 2-in-1 video. We discussed the 747 variants and their engine types. So don't forget to like this video, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe because I've just realized that over 95% has not yet subscribed. And I also realized that there are more viewers than subscribers. So which is, I don't really like that, because what I aim for is there should be more subscribers than viewers. Of course both are important. So please subscribe to my channel. And one more thing I forgot to mention was I got 2 subscribers. So it was 21 subscribers, now it's 23. So thank you. So thanks a lot for the 2 who have subscribed to my channel. It really means a lot to me. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye bye.